up? It's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I make lifestyle, travel, LGBT, different type of content. And if you're feeling this vibe, why don't you hit the subscribe button down below. So as you saw from my video yesterday, I am obsessed with podcasts. I am obsessed. And I said I had my own podcast. So we're basically going to talk about how to start your own podcast and the steps that you have to go through, because I've actually been getting a lot of messages on Facebook and Instagram about how to start a podcast and any tips that I have for anyone. So that's this video. So I just want to kind of start off with talking about my podcast, because why not? So my podcast is called Behind the Girl Boss, and basically I talk about behind the things of businesses such as Instagram, YouTube, podcasting, and different sides of businesses, because so many people have different businesses that aren't spoken about from the behind the scenes type of view. We always see the forefront, but we never see behind the scenes. So that's what I like to talk about. I also like to talk about my own businesses, how I started on social media, things as such. So basically that's what my podcast is about. If you want to give it a listen, I'm going to leave the link down below. Behind the Girl Boss on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Basically, it was a journey to start. I've always wanted to start a podcast because I listen to so many, like I've said, but I never really knew how to start my own, and that's why I wish I had this video to listen to when I want to start my own, but here we are. I'm going to be that voice. So my first thing I would say is to figure out what you want to talk about on your podcast and figure out a name. This was by far the hardest thing. I knew what I wanted to talk about, but I did not know what I wanted to name it. And each thing I wanted to name it, I would look up on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I would see someone else already named the podcast what I wanted to name it. So all the names I wanted at first were all taken. So I was let me sit down. Let me jot out a list of potential topic ideas that I would talk about on the podcast, potential episode ideas, and then probably a title, a podcast name would come to mind, and that's what happened. So the first thing you have to do is figure out what you want your podcast to be about and what you want to name it. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to create a visual. So your visual is basically what's going to be seen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you put your podcast on. There's going to be a picture, so a visual. I'm going to insert mine here. My friend Veronica made it for me. I'll leave her link below if you want to get anything made by her. She's great. Highly recommend. So I got my podcast visual made because it's essential. It's something that you're going to need all the time. So think of what you want it to be. So when I told Veronica what I wanted, I really said that I want something to look like me and I want to be something that represents me. So that's what she did. Next thing you're going to do is when you figure out your topic ideas, your name, and your visuals, you're going to record an episode. You have to record a full length episode to be able to apply to post it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because they're going to do a what's it called, a review of it. They're gonna make sure it's not trash, not trash, but make sure you're not saying anything bad or anything like that before they actually allow you to be on their platforms. During this, a lot of people are what microphone should I get? What microphone should I get? So I started off with the blue snowball microphone, and now I have the blue ice microphone. I don't know what it's called. Something. Honestly, both are really good quality, and I literally plug it into my laptop, and that's all I do. I also have a sound filter or pop filter. I don't know what it's called either. Really uneducated on the names, but I have a microphone. I'll insert pictures here, but I have a microphone. This is what the microphone I use now. This is the microphone I used before, and then I have a pop filter. That's all you really need, honestly. You don't need the big of the big. If you do podcasting for a living later, maybe you're gonna want to upgrade. But to begin with, these are the things that you need. You don't really need anything else. So yes, record a full-length episode, edit it. So basically what I do is I record it and I don't stop recording. So even if I screw up or I stutter and I re-say it, I leave everything in, and then I'll chop up what I don't need and then I'll mend it into an episode. So you're going to need that before you apply to have your podcast published places, because they really want to hear what you're going to be saying. So next, what I did was I went on RSS podcast after I had my episode done, my title, and my visuals done, and I applied to have my podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So RSS podcast is basically a platform where this is where you're going to be uploading your podcast episodes with the titles and the description, and they basically branch it out to put it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatever other platforms you want to put it on. I only have it on those two right now. Basically, I pay $8 every 3 months for it or something like that. It's not even that expensive. I would do it. Highly suggest. I know there's probably other ones, but this is the most reliable one that I found. And then once your podcast is accepted and approved and you're ready to go, this is where you post your first episode. So you publish it, you make it public, and that's it. After this, you know, you do cross promotion and things as such, but other than that, that's literally what you gotta do. And yeah, that's how you make your podcast. That's how you start your podcast. That's the step-by-step guide. So as I said before, please do not be shy to check out my podcast and let me know any feedback that you have for me. If you have any suggestions on topic ideas or anything like that, please let me know. And if you guys have your own podcast, or if you end up starting your own podcast, leave them down below because I would really love to check them out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to me below, and I will see you next time. And remember, live life, don't think twice. I'm out of here.